guys for their outstanding contributions, unwavering commitment to making our community better and brighter. Their efforts set them apart as true trailblazers, serving as role models and inspiring others to strive for excellence. Joe Zago is a remarkable businessman who defied the odds to rise from homelessness to success. As the owner of the Carpet Guys, he has built a thriving business generating millions in sales. Joe's journey to success was far from easy. He faced significant struggles, including losing his job, his house, battling alcoholism, and even experiencing bankruptcy, which led him to homelessness. But Joe found hope and new direction through the Salvation Army, which helped him turn his life around. And today he gives back to the community that helped him. Joe Zago is our newest member of the All Talk All-Stars. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning. It's Kevin Dietz. Wow.
Long time no talk.
Oh,
How
man.
are you?
I'm nervous. I haven't done a live interview in a long time.
You are blessed. You are blessed. A lot of people, Joe, find themselves down and out. Not everybody can pull themselves back up. Can you take us back to that time when you just thought everything was going against you?
There was a couple times in my life. One, the first time I just got out of a residential boarding school that I was at in Pittsfield, Stockbridge, Massachusetts, when I was 19 years old, and I had been in a lot of trouble in my teenage years, and that was the first time I actually experienced homelessness. And my parents did the tough love thing; they weren't going to help bail me out, and so I had to kind of get on my feet at that point and figure out a way to be resourceful, because it was either sink or swim. And then I got my life together. Things started going well. I got a little ahead of myself, started making some dumb decisions. Wound up getting a drunk driving because I had problems with alcoholism, and I'd get behind the wheel, and eventually got two, and my license was suspended and then revoked. And after my license was revoked, I remember losing first the job, then the house, then everything else that went along with it. And I was living in my buddy's basement. His house he was renting. It was in foreclosure, and we were in there with no heat from October to January back in, 15 years ago. So I was 35 years old and lost absolutely everything. And it was a scary part of my life because I was unemployable because my license was revoked. I had a big tether around my ankle because I was on probation for the DUI. And it was a pretty scary part of my life at that point.
Did you take that time to think about how possibly might I be able to turn this around?
Yeah, I mean, first it was I was doing the stupid stuff. I was being creative by throwing after-hours parties in the basement of this foreclosed home. But then, I realized that my life wasn't going to change unless I really made a drastic difference, because I was 35 years old and my life was more out of control than it was when I was 15 and 16, in and out of juvenile detention centers as a troubled teenager.
You had experience in the flooring business. What made you think you could actually run your own place?
Well, first off, I was unemployable because I was such a liability to everybody else. Nobody was doing that. Yeah. And I remember when I was in my early 20s, I got a job selling Kirby vacuum cleaners door to door. And my old boss, which is one of my biggest role models, John Parker, used to just tell us to become a rejection specialist. Keep knocking on doors until somebody, at least, you can talk your way into somebody's house, and then show them a Kirby, and eventually, if you show enough time, somebody's going to wind up buying it. So I knew that I could sell carpet and flooring because I worked for Empire and other places before, and I was good at it. I just had to be able to find a way to get in front of customers. So I got some samples made. This is back in 2009 when the economy was completely tanked and local suppliers really had a lot of inventory but nobody to sell it, nobody buying it, so they had nothing to lose. They gave me some samples and I just went door to door, and my rule of thumb was if I knock on 100 doors, 70 people are going to probably slam the door in my face, and I just had to talk my way into 30 of them. And if I could talk my way into 30 of them, at least 3 of them had ugly carpet, because carpet only looked good for 10 years. So I just did the math, and if I knocked 100 doors, I would usually sell 2 or 3 jobs in a day. And I didn't have the luxury of driving around from neighborhood to neighborhood looking for the perfect street. I had to knock on doors that were close to where I lived. And I remember my old boss used to say the hardest door to open is the car door, because there's so much procrastination and looking for the perfect street to knock on. Just get out there and knock. And so that's what I did. And after a while, I started making some sales. I had some friends that were in the flooring industry that knew how to install carpeting from my relationships that I created over the years at Empire. And that's how we started, is just going door to door. And I just kept going.
It's one thing, Joe, to be able to feed yourself, which you were able to do because you had determination in sales, but now you're responsible for a lot of people. You have employees who now have families, and that's a lot of responsibility. You've come a long way.
Yeah, our company does now north of $30 million a year in sales, just in Metro Detroit and now Chicago. So that with that comes a lot of employees. We have a lot of contractors, a lot of in-house as well as outside employees and staff, and so it's it's a lot. So I have to make sure that I'm making good decisions. Thankfully, I've surrounded myself with good people. I've learned enough to know my weaknesses and the areas that I'm weak. I've been able to hire people. I have a great CEO that runs my carpet guys company, and I've got great partners in my other companies that I also manage. And so we've got a really good team of people, and it's most importantly, surrounding ourselves with not just smart people, but people that do things ethically. We got to do things for the right reasons, and as a result of that, we get a lot of good business. I think we've got over 4,500 Google reviews, of which 4.9 out of 5 with that kind of volume is unheard of in this industry in home improvements. But we do good by people, and I tell my staff to treat every customer as if you would want somebody to treat your own grandmother going to your grandmother's house when you're not there looking. And if they take that attitude, then the right stuff comes back to us.
You take care of your employees, but you also give back to the community. You feel it's something that's now a part of your life story, is to be able to give back. Tell me about that.
I'm obligated to. I feel it's an obligation. I'm technically not obligated, but when I was homeless, the Salvation Army helped me tremendously. We were living in a basement again from October to January with no heat, and through the thaw program, through the Salvation Army over on Mound Road in Warren, I remember they helped me get heat in this house eventually. And even though it wasn't our home, we were squatting in the house until the sheriffs finally kicked us out. It gave me a sense of relief. The Salvation Army helped me get food. So I give back to those organizations substantially. And in addition to that, my family's been affected by breast cancer, so we give very heavily to the Susan Komen Foundation. We do a tremendous amount through the Alzheimer's Association, Kensington Church, through the Hope Water Project for clean water, all kinds of stuff. American Red Cross, I lost 2 of my very close friends to a house fire a few years ago, so we're part of the Sound of the Alarm campaign every year. Also No Resolve to help stop suicide, because we were affected by that. And a lot of things that we get involved in because people help us, and I think we need to give back and help other people get back on their feet as well.
You still come across a lot of people who are down on their luck. What advice do you give to people who feel like there is no hope?
Well, the hope is going to come from within. That's really, the change has to happen. Nothing was going to change by somebody changing it for me. For me, I had to figure out a way to at least get the head start. I had to jump start the car before the alternator can charge the battery. So the Salvation Army, like I said, helped me get on my feet initially. But at that point, I got to take the ball and I got to run with it. And luckily, I've had some really great role models in my life, from former bosses that I worked for to even my Little League baseball coach, Freddie Martinez, and both of my parents. They always said to try hard and give it your all. But really just trying to be able to be resourceful. Somebody said a long time ago, I don't remember who said it, but it's a pretty common thing that I've heard people say was, you teach him, give a man a fish and he eats for a day. You teach him how to fish, he can eat for a lifetime and feed others. And I think that's important that we do just that. And so I guess the advice is don't give up on yourself and really try to. I watched the movie The Secret over and over again, and I started with the law of attraction. I also listen to audiobooks like The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I have to be coachable, because if I keep doing things my way, I'm going to fail. I'm in Alcoholics Anonymous, and I have a sponsor, and my sponsor coaches me because I don't have all the answers. If I just listen to my advice, well, that's bad advice because I'm the last person I got drunk with. So I got to listen to people that know the game better than I do, and be willing to be coachable and get out of my own way.
Joe Zago, owner and founder of Carpet Guys, newest member of All Talk All Stars. Congratulations. Focus of Paul W. Smith.